Good morning. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral. My name is Reverend Shell Redfern, and I am your tour guide for today. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Wherever you are on your spiritual path, we are so glad that you chose to be here today. We've got a bunch of music today. We've got a meditation today. We've got a beautiful reading today by one of our new practitioners, talk, all the usual stuff. So sit back, relax, and enjoy, and welcome to the center.
Good morning. My name is Pam Lambert, and I'm a practitioner at the center. It is my honor to join you in meditation this morning. Our theme today for the month is Inclusion in Action, and this week it's Who are we? Now we know, religious scientists, that in truth we are all individual expressions of spirit. So this meditation today is on self-love, because when we are clear about who we are, we can more fully show up and allow others to show up as the emanations of God that they are. So I'm going to share the screen with you. If you'd like to lower your gaze or close your eyes if you feel comfortable. There we go. Now, if you're in a chair, make your way to the back so you can feel fully supported. Ground both your feet flat on the floor. Gently pull your shoulder blades back and down, raising your rib cage just slightly. And if you can, place your hands on the palms turned up on the outside of your thighs. These small shifts will create a true physical openness for your heart. We'll begin by taking a few deep breaths and bring your awareness to your heart. Visualize how each in-breath affects your heart physically. Continue to rest your awareness on your heart and consider how each in-breath nourishes you as your heart drinks in precious oxygen. This passage of oxygen from the nearby air through your lungs and then into your beating heart and bloodstream is the most basic and constant connection between you and the world around you. This simple act of breathing knits together all that is within you with all that lies beyond your skin. Each new breath creates a unity of life as all people share the nourishment that the Earth's atmosphere freely offers. Now let's check in and see how your body is feeling. Do you have any worries or areas of tension? Whatever the feeling, there's no need to push it aside. Let that feeling in and accept it as part of what it means to be you at this moment. Meet the feelings with curiosity and openness. Just as surely as all people face situations that we label as good or bad, all people all over the world yearn to feel good, safe, peaceful, and healthy. Alongside your awareness of the fundamental sameness of all people, you can choose to wish yourself well. You deserve this kindness as much as anyone. Let's begin by lightly calling to mind your own good qualities. Let these qualities remind you of what's good in you. What touches your heart about yourself? Then gently offer the classic wishes of loving kindness to yourself. May I feel safe and protected. May I feel happy and peaceful. May I feel healthy and strong. May I live with ease. See yourself as being a dear friend to yourself. And if you find that's not so easy, it might help to first imagine the warmth and tenderness you feel towards an infant or a pet. Experience how your face softens and your heart expands in their presence. Now imagine directing these same feelings of warmth and tenderness to yourself. May I feel safe. May I feel happy. May I feel healthy. May I live with ease. Know that this practice is more than a mere repetition of phrases. The phrases simply open a door to a chance for you to condition your heart to be more open, accepting, and kinder. Becoming aware of your heart region allows you to witness this conditioning as it unfolds. May I feel safe. May I feel happy. May I feel healthy. May I live with ease. At times, you will find that your attention is strayed, but don't worry, it's normal. Simply begin again. What would it be like to set aside all harshness and begin again with a kind and loving attitude towards yourself? May I feel safe. May I feel happy. May I feel healthy. May I live with ease. And as you end this practice, know that it's completely natural for you to treat yourself kindly, even if you may forget to do so quite often. Know that you can generate this tender and loving attitude towards yourself anytime just by reminding yourself how at ease it makes you feel. Now please bring your attention back to the room and your surroundings. Maybe you might want to stretch just a little bit. And please stay with us for Reverend Shell's talk and the rest of our celebration. Namaste.
There is a power, a force in the universe that is greater than us. And we can work with this power and enjoy lives that are happier, healthier, more peaceful, and more content. That's what we're talking about here. Good morning and welcome to today's presentation from the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral, Florida. I'm Reverend David Renee Jennings, Associate Minister here.
And I'm Vicki Jennings. Welcome.
We are so delighted that you've chosen to spend time with us this morning. Quality time with your spiritual family. Welcome home.
We want you to know that wherever you are on your spiritual journey, we're glad you've chosen to join us.
Indeed, indeed. As usual, as we begin our time together, we like to start with a blessing that will be for your benefit, our spiritual community, and the world at large. It goes like this. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are.
You are the spiritual image and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we're grateful for you.
And so it is. So please stay tuned for some good music coming up and an inspiring message from Reverend Shell Redfern.
Yes, and you can catch us on YouTube, Facebook, or even on our website. And watch there for connections for when you can come into the building and meet together again, because we'd love to see your shining face.
We miss your smiling faces, we certainly do. Meanwhile, have a great day. Enjoy the presentation. Have an awesome week. Stay happy and healthy. We'll see you back here next week. All the very best. Bye now.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I'll give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need.
Peace is my source, peace is my power, peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, peace gives me everything I need.
Love is my source, love is my power, love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, gives me everything I need.
God is my source,
God is my power,
God gives me everything I need.
so I give thanks
For all my blessings, God gives me everything I need.
God gives me
Everything I need. God gives me everything I
Good morning. My name is Patrick O'Brien, and I'm a licensed practitioner here at the Center for Spiritual Living in Cape Coral. And it's my honor to be bringing you this morning's reading. And it comes from the Essential Ernest Holmes on page 177. And it reads, "Our forefathers were wise indeed when they worked out a system which bound all together in one common purpose without overlooking the fact that each is an individual, that every state and each political subdivision down to the precinct in which you and I live should be able to preserve its identity and integrity from the largest to the smallest. In doing this, those who wrote those two documents referring to the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence surely did so under divine guidance. For all you have to do is to look about in nature, and you find that while everything comes from one source, everything bears the stamp of unique individuality. The great lesson for life is trying to teach us in that we are all rooted in God, but each is an individualized center and the divine being. We have what Emerson called the unity at the center and variety at the circumference. So let's take this into prayer. Closing our eyes and settling into the right here, right now. I know there is only one thing going on. That one thing is good. That one thing is God. That one thing is life itself. And I know that I am a center in this good life. And I realize that it's my gifts and my individual contributions. And I realize that it's each and every one's individuality and contributions that make this life what it is: beautiful, diverse, and unique. And it's with that realization that I have gifts to offer, and I can recognize that everyone in this world has their own unique gifts to offer. And as we honor each other's gifts and our own gifts as worthy, I can release these words with great gratitude, knowing it is already done in the one mind. And I can anchor these into law by saying, and so it is. Namaste, my friends. Stay unique, stay individual, and continue bringing your gifts to this life. Amen.
Once upon a time, a daughter came to her father and said, "Dad, I'm just miserable. Everything in my life has gone awry. It's going wrong. I am absolutely miserable. Can you help me? I don't know what to do anymore. I just don't know how to be. I don't know how I'm going to make it if my life keeps going this way." And her father was silent as she went on and on. And then he invited her to follow him into the kitchen. Her father was a chef. So she sat down at the table, and he went to work in the kitchen, and he pulled out 3 pots, and he filled each pot with water. And he set these 3 pots of water onto the stove and turned the burners on high. And then he just took a step back and waited. Well, eventually, the water in the pots started to boil. So when the water in the pot started to boil, he got some potatoes and put some potatoes in one pot. And then he got some eggs and put them in another pot. And then he got some coffee and put it in the 3rd pot. And then again, he stirred it a little bit, turned them on a simmer, and stepped back and just watched them, not saying a thing to his daughter. Well, his daughter was starting to get a little impatient, looking at her clock every here and there and, wondering what he was up to, but he said nothing. After about 20 minutes or so, he took the pot of potatoes and he drained them in the sink and put them in a bowl and put them on the table. And then he did the same with the eggs. He took them, drained them in the sink, put them in a bowl and put them on the table. And the coffee, he went over and he took a ladle and he scooped out some coffee and he put it in a cup. And he set that in front of his daughter as well. And he said, "Daughter, what do you see here?" And the daughter said, "I see potatoes and I see eggs and I see coffee." And he said, "Look closer. Look closer and tell me what you see. Feel the potato and tell me what you feel." And so the daughter looked, and she noticed that the potatoes had gone in strong and rigid and hard. And after being in that water, they came out a little bit soft and what might be called weak. And she picked up one of the eggs, and she broke the outer shell. And she realized that those eggs went into that water, and the outer shell of the egg was hard, and the insides were liquid. And when it came out of the water, the outer shell was still hard, but the insides had gone hard as well. And then she looked at the coffee. She actually picked up the cup and took a big drink of it and smiled at her father because she loved coffee and said, "Okay, so the potatoes went in hard and came out soft, and the egg went in very delicate shell and soft on the inside and came out hard on the inside. And the coffee, well, it's just delicious. What are you trying to tell me, Father?" And her father said, each of these 3 things faced the same adversary. The adversary was the boiling water. When the potatoes went into the boiling water, they became soft and weak after going in hard and strong. And when the eggs faced the boiling water, they became hard on the inside, as well as retaining that hard outer shell, that protective outer shell. He said, but the coffee's special. And all of these are aspects of you, my dear. All of these are aspects of you. Well, what's with the coffee? When the coffee and the water came together, they created something new. The water didn't have to be an adversary for the coffee. The coffee changed it into something new, where both could be expressed in a different way. Now, isn't that a beautiful, brilliant story? I really enjoy it. How do we approach adversity? Are we like the potato? We go in strong, we go in firm, and we come out feeling a little bit weak, maybe a little bit mushy, soft? Do we go in with a hard outer shell, protecting a gooey inside, and as a result of adversity, we become hard on the inside as well as the outside? Or are we like the coffee, where we approach any situation in life and we create something different, something new from the experience? Which one are you? Which one am I? I think I can be all three, depending upon the situation. Yeah? So our monthly theme is inclusion in action. And our theme for today is, who are we? Now, Home Office suggested that we can't embrace adversity until we know who we are on the inside, until we have a great, deep understanding of ourselves. And I would tend to agree with them. And I'll tell you why. I think until we understand who we are, and we understand what our opinions are, and we understand what makes us tick, and what makes us angry, and what makes us fearful, and what makes us happy, as things in life come towards us, especially things that are different from what we're used to, we can look outside of ourselves and say, they are doing this to me. They are saying this to me. And it can feel like an attack. Once we understand who we are, we can be with people that have different opinions, different approaches, different ways, and know that each of us is different, and create a space of allowing for that, because we have self-love. It is with self-love and self-compassion that we can truly have love for another and truly have compassion for another. So last week we were talking about implicit and explicit bias. Explicit bias is something that we know that we have a feeling about, and we acknowledge it out loud, knowingly. Implicit bias is different. It's things that are in our subconscious, below our conscious thinking level. You might call it a reaction as opposed to a response. Often we don't know that we have these implicit biases, but they show up in how we respond or react to life. So last week was about understanding where some of those come from and how we can become mindful and observe our thoughts, right? And connect with our thoughts. It's a very important part of understanding who we are. And so today, who are we? We're going to talk about how we can understand who we are as individuals, taking a look at that, and really, truly honoring that. Science of Mind says that we are all God in form. First and foremost, we are all God in form. And so each and every one of us is here on a sacred mission, a sacred life. Each life is sacred. Each life is precious. Each life is special. Each life is God. All of them. All of them. The people we agree with, the people we don't agree with, the people that we understand the actions, the people that we don't understand the actions. We are, each and every one of us, God in form. So how can we better understand ourselves so that we can better understand others? Let's take a look at that. All right. So I'm going to give you a couple of ways to get to know yourself. We're going to start with the personality. The personality is actually fairly easy to understand. Each of us understands fairly well our own personalities. So this would be the way that we interact with the world. And of course, we all have different roles that we serve in the world. And the personality can shift or respond a little differently depending upon the role. You look at my roles here at the center. They're varied. I'm the spiritual director of the center. So I'm one of the leaders of the center. I am a minister. I am a practitioner. I am a volunteer at the center. I am a marketing person at the center. I'm a sound person at the center. I work with the music team at the center. And in each one of those roles, I respond a little differently to the things that are coming my way based on the role itself. So when I'm in a volunteer role, I would fall into a place of looking for leadership to tell me where to go, what to do, what the need is. When I am in spiritual director role, then I'm looked to provide some leadership, right? So each one of these roles has a different way of being in the world, and all of those coexist within my personality. My personality will shine through all of those things. My sense of humor will shine through all of those things. My sense of right and wrong will shine through all of those things. And the outpicturing is my personality. So we all pretty much would have a handle on what our personality is like. Are we funny? Are we outgoing? Are we shy? Are we... name it, right? Personality is something that you can generally connect with fairly quickly and fairly easily. One of the ways that we can look at our personality and dig a little bit deeper, though, is looking at our choices. And we can look at the choices that we've made that we feel are good and the ones that we feel are regrettable. And the first thing to ask ourselves about our choices is, were they authentic choices? Did those choices come from a place of authenticity? Or did we feel forced into making a choice? We're never forced into making a choice, but did we feel forced into making a choice? So are we living an authentic life, or are we living a life that's been built by somebody else's expectations? One of the places that we can also look to understand parts of our personality is to our past. We can consider how our past relationships, our childhoods, our whatever, how that shaped our future self. What decisions did the things that happened to these little guys, being you and I, when we were small, we make decisions when we're small that can carry into our life. What decisions did we make when we were small, when we were young, about how the world worked, how we interacted with the world, who we were in the world? What decisions did we make when we were young that we're still responding or reacting from today? Again, that's going to be reflected in our personality and how we interact with the world. And again, were those conscious choices? Were those choices we felt were forced upon us? Do they make sense to us now? Personality. The second thing we're going to take a look at to get an understanding of self is core values. I've talked about core values before because I think they're very, very important. I think that core values are our main motivators. They're our main motivators to get angry. They're our main motivators to get off of the couch. They're our main motivators to say yes. They're our main motivators to say no. Now, Brené Brown, as I've told you before, suggests that we narrow our core values down to 2. If we understand, and if the people around us understand what our 2 core values are, we can have a different kind of relationship, right? They can understand where our decisions are coming from. We can understand that about ourselves, most importantly, and we can start to determine and see how things are unfolding based on those core values. So my recommendation would be that we figure out what our core values are, really spend some time with that. What are your 2 core values, and get it down just to a couple words, like 2 to 4 words, and that's it. You wouldn't believe how helpful that is in knowing the self, in honoring the self, in respecting the self. So core values, personality, core values. The third one might be surprising. The third one would be get to know your body. There are a lot of us that have struggles with body image. There are a lot of us that have that. I've been on and off with that struggle for most of my life. And I think, unfortunately, I was in marketing and PR and advertising, and I was part of what helped to create that for people all over the world. You know, we've developed in advertising an impossible goal through Photoshop and the ways that we alter pictures to present a perfect life, a perfect skin, a perfect body that isn't real at all. At all. So there are many that have struggles with body image, and that's going to come out in how we interact with the world. So what is our relationship with our body? If you are having struggles with your body image, there's something that you can do to start to shift that a little bit. And that would be to sit down and think of 5 things that your body can do, is doing, has done, that is in support of you. What are 5 things that your body can do, is doing, or has done that's in support of you, so that a good relationship, a healthy relationship between each one of us and our body can be cultivated. It's an important part of having self-love and self-respect. Get to know your body. Get to love your body. Yes? Okay. Number 4, identify strengths and weaknesses. Now, here, many would tend to want to shy away from the weaknesses. We want to know ourselves as strong. We want to know ourselves as fun, as funny. We want to lean into the positives, and we want to kind of lean away from what might be perceived or called negatives. But they're really not negatives. They're just others, you know? So we've got strong aspects, and we have aspects that we may not like so much about ourselves. Yeah? One of the things that I can say for myself, a strong aspect is I'm very, very friendly. I'm very outgoing. There are no strangers in my life. I just meet everybody as a friend. And that's the way I approach life. That's the way I approach people. As such, often I take on too much. There's a weakness. I think that the day is longer than it is. I think that an hour is longer than 60 minutes, or more accurately, I think I can fit more than I can into a space of time. It's a weakness. So I surround myself with people that are conscious of time to help me with that. It's a good idea, right? Know and acknowledge, identify and acknowledge what are your strengths, what are your weaknesses. And know that they're okay, that they're okay. Again, if you're running into struggle with identifying weaknesses or coming to peace with weaknesses, it might be that some shadow work would be in order for you. So watch for upcoming classes and such on the shadow work. We have a couple of practitioners in the center that really specialize in that work, and it's wonderful. Shadow work and forgiveness work are key for those weaknesses that are there that we can tend to dismiss and not acknowledge. But we are a whole being, and the idea is loving that whole being so that we can love others as well. Number 5, question your automatic thoughts. Now, we were talking about this last week, right? The implicit biases can come up in those autopilot thoughts. And the idea is to take a look at our thoughts, become an observer of our thoughts. I don't know if you saw my recording from yesterday on the site. I read from Wayne Dyer, one of my heroes, and he was talking about becoming the observer of our thoughts. And he talked about thoughts like trains in a train station. I love that analogy. He said, you know, you're observing a thought, and just as that thought starts to exit, there's one right on its tail coming in, just like trains in and out of a train station. And it's just a never-ending flow of one thought after another after another. And he said, so the idea is to look at thoughts as things, that they are not something that you have no control over, because we do have control over our thoughts. We do have control over our thinking. We can slow our mind down, right? And become the observer of each thought. Think of them as things. And he said, and more important is after you've mastered becoming the observer of your own thoughts, observe the observer. Isn't that a fascinating idea? And he said, when we become the observer of the observer, now we're stepping into our sacred self. And here, my friends, is truly where the self-love can be cultivated, enriched, enlivened, and really change our lives for the better. And again, why am I talking about all of this when our theme is inclusion in action? Because truly, inclusion begins with our own self having self-love, self-respect, and being able to say, these are my thoughts, these are my ideas, and creating a space for each and every one around us to have their own thoughts and ideas that may be different, but that doesn't make them wrong. It just makes them different. It gives us the space from which to honor each and every person. There are potatoes and eggs and coffee beans all over the world, you know. Each one of us is different. Each one of us is individual. Each one of us responds to that boiling water in a different way. How can we create inclusion if we can't understand who we are? So it begins with us and understanding who we are in this and loving who we are, knowing we are God in form, and so is everybody else. So, what would Ernest Holmes say about this? Good question. This reading is from The 10 Ideas That Make a Difference by Ernest Holmes. Man's 3 greatest needs are to feel that he is needed, wanted, and loved. To feel that he belongs to the universe in which he lives, and to have no object or objects upon which he may lavish his affection. Excuse me, I said that wrong. Not no objects. Let me go back, okay? One more time. Man's 3 greatest needs are to feel that he is needed, wanted, and loved. To feel that he belongs to the universe in which he lives, and to have an object or objects upon which he may lavish his affection. That makes more sense, doesn't it? Yes, it does. It is now known that most unhappiness comes from a sense of being rejected, of not being needed, wanted, or loved. It is also known that a large percentage of our physical troubles are a result of the emotional turmoil that generally follows in the wake of a feeling that we do not belong to life or to anyone in it. We call this reaction repressions, inner conflicts, or frustrations. And sometimes we call them inferiority or superiority complexes. We are so constituted that we want to be loved, we want to love, we want to be glad and to have friends and be a friend. We are born with an urge to express life, with a desire to unite our living with others, to enjoy people, and to live creatively. It seems as though something dynamic entered into us when we were born. It did. We have an impulse to enter into the joy of living, to give vent to the thoughts and feelings and emotional urges and impulsations which every normal person has. One might ask, what has all this to do with love? It has everything to do with love. For love is the givingness of the self, the impartation of the self to other people, the projection of the self into the activities of our everyday living. Love is one of the supreme emotions in our lives, and without love, everything is drab and without meaning. So it's all about the love, guys, beginning with love of self. So how about we take this into prayer? So knowing together there is one power, one presence, one life, one love. There is one love. That is love of spirit, God, life, whatever you want to call it. There is just one thing going on here, one love. And this is what I know for sure, that something has been opened up inside each and every one of us. Each and every one watching this video has been altered, changed for the better to create a space of allowing for more love, more peace, more joy, more abundance of all kinds. That self-love is the key, and it is being cultivated right here, right now. There's a recognition of spirit as life, our life. The life of each one is spirit, is love, is joy. So I celebrate with each and every one the love that is flowing from us out into the cosmos, the embracement of diversity, inclusion, all of it is unfolding with great grace, ease, joy, and fun. For this and so much more, I am grateful and thankful. I release my word into law, knowing it is done. So if you're in agreement, I invite you to anchor this with me by saying, and so it is. So be it. So be it. Namaste.
Good morning and happy Sunday, everyone. My name is Melissa Tuff, and I am a licensed practitioner and the treasurer of the Leadership Council here at the Center for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral. And it is my great pleasure to bring you our offertory for today. But before I get to that, I would like to just take the time to thank each and every one of you in this age of technology and online services that you chose to spend your Sunday morning with us amongst all your other choices. So thank you. And now is our opportunity to show gratitude for all that has transpired here today. And we offer several ways for you to give. You can text your donation to 239-320-3820. You can visit our website at cslcapecoral.org and press that little donate button on our page. You can mail a check to CSL Cape Coral at 406 Southeast 24th Avenue, Cape Coral, Florida 33990. You can set up an automatic transfer of funds on a weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly basis. And you can even support your spiritual home through your online shopping with Amazon. Simply visit smile.amazon.com and select Center for Spiritual Living Cape Coral as your charity of choice. So right now, I invite you to hold your tithe between your hands if you have it available, and if not, then please join me in placing your hands over your heart as I speak our tithing affirmation. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. And now I speak a word of blessing over this tithe. With appreciation and love, I accept these offerings and gifts. Divine love through me blesses each gift and each giver. I know that all that has been given here circulates to do great work, both within this spiritual community and the world at large. Standing in gratitude, I release these words, so please join me in saying, and so it is. And so it is. Namaste. Thank you for joining us.
And this is what you have to say. I believe and I let go. Let the spirit run my Yes, I'm only for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only for God.
And now it's time to stand in the light. When we stand in the light, we stand knowing the truth about a situation, what we want to see in that situation. Today, I am standing in the light for each one who is watching this video right here and now. I know we are stepping into a self-awareness like never before, self-love like never before. We are learning who we are, where our choices come from, how our ideas and our minds work, and it is good because it is God being released right here and now. Now, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and write what you're standing in the light for in our comments. If you're on YouTube, there's a comment section there as well, or visit our website at www.cslcapecoral.org, and you can send us a prayer request, and we will stand in the light with you. So let me say a brief prayer over everything that's been spoken into this sacred space. Turning within once more and knowing together there is one power, one presence, one life. That life is God's life. That life is each one who's watching this video and each one whose name has been spoken here today. I know that there is the perfection of the one mind, the one life, unfolding for each and every one of these situations, and that good and more good is the order of the day. I am just so happy and grateful for these truths. I release this into law, into mine, knowing it is done, and so it is. So be it. Well, hello, everybody. No announcements per se today. We do have midweek tune-up this week. We are meeting live in the center at noon on Wednesday. Mask is required for our midweek tune-up. That's been working extremely well, so do join us live if you'd like. We're also still meeting on Zoom, and you'll find the information for that Zoom meeting time on the calendar of events on our website or in Facebook or in Meetup. It's in all three places, the link so that you can join us in Zoom if you would not like to come to the center. I did send out a survey on Friday. I sent out a survey link on Friday asking questions about how we should go about reopening and maybe some other celebration times so that if we do have to divide into groups and have more than one celebration, what the preference would be as far as those times. If you did not get that link, please drop me a line. You can, again, go to the website, go to the contact form and reach out there. You can give us a call at the center. We are working here at the center. The phone number is 239-574-6463. Or reach out to me personally, and I will get that link to you because we're really interested in what you are thinking and how you as a community would like to proceed. So that's it for today. Have an awesome Sunday. I love and miss you all, and you guys just take care. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.